It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good morning, if you're on our side of the country. Just about to take a drink when that thing ended. So this is morning in the West Coast. I think in the metric coast, it's probably mid-afternoon. 2-8 Tuesday is about to happen over on the oh my goodness, on the Cape Gunworks channel. There we go. Getting old, I guess. So over on Cape Gunworks, they're going to be doing 2-8 Tuesday. I figured I've been needing to get back into some kind of rhythm with the Instagram/X. So we're going to do an IGX show at some point. Maybe we will do an IGX show right now. Let me know if you want to hear IGX or just IG. We've got about 15 minutes before that show starts. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to kind of go through and selfishly look at some of our posts over here on the IG. The kids call it the IG. And I don't know where you're watching this. You might be watching this on the X. You might be watching this on the YouTubes. And either way, you're allowed to comment. You can comment by typing on the keyboard there. And that'll show up on the screen and we can interact. But let's see. So if we go backwards on our show, we've got the poll that's up over on YouTube right now. What season do you prefer shooting? I wonder why I took that one away. There it is. The fall, the winter. That's supposed to be snow, I guess. I don't know if that's summer and spring or spring and summer, one of the two. Anyway, I thought those were some pretty good images. Let me get some. Oh, this, I should probably be showing the screen instead of showing the screen, right? There we go. That's a lot better. All right, I'm trying to put that microphone up where I can see now. So let me know. Give me some feedback if the audio is still working, if it didn't cut out or something weird. Let's see. Where's my mute? I need to move a couple of things so that this is over where I'm used to it. See Vulcans out there? Gives the audio doing all right? All right, so Industry Day, they sent out little invites, I guess, the other day. So that's the beginning of SHOT Show season. A lot of people think of this as thanks for the feedback. A lot of people think of this as the various spice season, but it's actually SHOT Show spice season. Grab yourself a hot cup of SHOT Show and get ready. It's a real pain to schedule on Instagram, so I schedule over on YouTube. So most of the calendar stuff is going to be happening on YouTube. But every once in a while, I can smash something over to Instagram. And historically, it was really easy to do stuff on Instagram. I'm going to try to figure out how to make it easier. But anyway, there's a couple of things this month that I was able to post, but by no means, the number that we would normally post, like the amount of stuff that's on gun calendars over there. Anyway, that was the anniversary of the passing of the guy who invented the Uzi, whose name is Uzi. It was also this last weekend, the big machine gun shoot up at Dragonman's. So I posted about that a few times in preparation for it, let people know it's coming, and then just to kind of repost some of their stuff that was happening during the event. Very cool event, of course. I'm going to go ahead and say it's the coolest event that is open to the public. I'll be right back. I had more sand in my nose than I thought I did, so now we're better. We had a bunch of polls. Like just mentioned the poll that we got going right now, but I try to put up polls whenever I can to keep it interesting so that YouTube isn't boring. and plus to get some interactivity, right? The whole point of the internet is that we all can access it. So what do we do when we access it? Let's create some data. So we got a bunch of these polls over there. How often you participate in training? Every month I ask, what's your favorite organization? And essentially GOA wins, and FPC and Second Amendment Foundation kind of fluctuate. NRA, gets some attention, but look at that. They're tied with Second Amendment Foundation. That's interesting. The Turkish Olympics happened, and that guy's shooting. I created a poll about that. Then that subsequent poll about Turkish guns. It was the holiday for Red Dawn, so we posted about that. Every once in a while, I'll just post about gun inventors or gun cleaning, the different events that were going on, and people's interest in them, types of shooting events, and quite a bit more polls than that, but that's the only ones that would fit on Instagram. We had the anniversary of the birth of Hiram Maxim. That's the son of the machine gun guy. So the guy that made the crank machine gun is Maxim, and then his son is the guy that invented the suppressor and the car muffler and a bunch of other things, actually. So his date of birth is the 2nd of September. I was farting around in StreamYard one night, and I figured out that they have a new feature, so I went live that evening to test out the new feature. It's supposedly supposed to be a room that stays open that you can leave open, and give one invite, and people can always return to that same invite. I think that's the point of it. And then that way you can have a reoccurring live show, but I haven't figured out how to make it work. So I don't know if that's even what it's supposed to be. I think that's what it's supposed to be. I like to put anniversaries of people's births, and we had Ken Hackathorn's birthday passed just the other day on the 31st. There's one of those polls that we spoke about. I try to post them over here on the Instagram just to let people know about them, cross-platform and all that. We do the weekly wrap-up. This was an alert about that from a while back. This was the Sullivan Law. Essentially what we used to call the first CCW law. I guess it's technically the first CCW law because it prevents people from carrying a firearm in New York. And it's racist or whatever, but there was a whole bunch of laws that are super racist that weren't necessarily carry laws. They were just gun prohibition laws. So I guess technically this is the first CCW law, but don't conflate that. It's not the first gun law by any means. There were definitely gun laws before this, and those gun laws were essentially to keep the freed slaves from having firearms. And this one was in 1911. All of those are way earlier, the end of the Civil War. All right, so I just threw some images together for, I think I was live and just playing with some images and stuff. I wanted some new images. I like to put them up as banners and stuff when we change things out over on the various platforms. So got the puppy doing some gunsmithing. I don't know if you're allowed to show that on YouTube. What kind of music do you listen to when you're cleaning? Oh, I didn't thumb this one up. And then he was saying, I listen to podcasts. That's a good point. I had this little selection of AK-47 gnomes I thought was pretty cool. So if anybody wants these, you can buy them on Amazon. I can give you a link. There's an Amazon video you can watch about these things. It's pretty epic. You want to grab some popcorn and watch this, then buy a whole bunch of them, feel free. Oops, I'm hitting the wrong buttons here. Then we did that poll about the shooting sports. That's where I got this image. Thought that's pretty good. And then I took Puppy out to a 3-gun match, and that was him. Then we took him shooting shotgun, but he started getting really weird about it. So we took him long-range shooting, and he calmed it back down. But he was drinking a beer, and that was unacceptable. So now we're getting back to, we're talking about doing this show before, where'd it go? Before Toby goes live over on Cape Gun Works. So Cape Gun Works is in Massachusetts. Massachusetts is getting wailed on right now. Like they are just getting the Second Amendment crap beaten out of them. So in order to attempt to prevent it, they're going to do a ballot initiative. So they need a whole bunch of petitions to kind of get that kicked off. They did a rally at Boston Commons, wherever that is. I'm assuming in Boston. And I don't know how into it, like maybe 2 hours into it, Pierre came up to speak, and 6 minutes into his 20-minute section of time, they essentially took the mic from him. It was pretty much of a shit show. The stream that I was watching ended soon after this, so I don't know what happened for the rest of the rally. But, we're certainly not perfect as a community, and we certainly can learn a lot, I think, from this segment about how to listen and communicate and get points across and understand different points of view. Because essentially this was either an instigator who was causing trouble and wanted to create a scene or create a, what do you call it, like a soundbite by screwing with Pierre, or it was somebody who misunderstood what Pierre was saying, which is possible, but I really do think it was an instigator, because it seems like they'd have to be pretty dense, and they showed up halfway through the speech to start being that way, because he had basically said the same thing like 3 times before they started heckling him about it. As soon as they started heckling him, this ineffective moderator of the event, who's inexperienced and incapable, decided to take the mic away from a speaker who was actually making really good points, instead of addressing the 2 or 3 hecklers that did not show them, did not represent the crowd in any way. I believe they could have been easily agent provocateurs. So if you want to watch that, you can watch it live over on the Cape Gunworks channel. They're the ones that were streaming it. Every once in a while, somebody will post about our old pictures. Every once in a while, somebody will post about our old videos and stuff. So that's what this is. I don't even remember. Is there a way to find out? If I were to go to YouTube's and I were to go to my video tab, let's try this. Those are 380s, right? So let's type in 380. I don't make videos about 380s anymore, so we'll see if we can find this video or not. So that video, I can kind of remember making it. I can remember that era at the shop when pictures were the rage, and I was playing on YouTube, but pictures were really were cooking. That's where you made the money. So I would lay out pictures, and depending on what I was laying out pictures for, I would do videos also. Sometimes it was vice versa. Sometimes I would be doing a video, and I'd get some pictures out of it. I guess this was just pictures, because I'm not seeing a video associated with it. I know there was like a 380 shootout that's a pretty old video. Is this it? Maybe this is what I'm thinking about. So this is our 380 shootout, and I think what I did is like set these things on a table. Selection here, and that's thanks to the guys. This is a different time. Tucson Guns. This was a different time. So essentially the same kind of concept, though. Laid out a bunch of guns and then did like 5 different videos talking about different aspects of them. And they were talking about this on Gun Club Radio last night. Man, I do not remember editing all this. This would have been after this video. No. Okay, I can't remember. But obviously I was fiddling with the size and weight of whatever number of 380 pistols we got there. And, to some extent, customers cared about this. To some extent, it was just interesting. But I'll close out of here for now. Anyway, that's where this picture probably came from, an image then, I guess. I must have just... Probably this guy started it. Maybe this little AMT, because this wasn't normally in the shop. These are in the shop all the time. That might have been mine. This is a North American Arms. And then that Ruger is pretty much in the shop all the time. I think this guy, the little Desert Eagle, was probably, because I really, really like that. Is that a little Desert Eagle, or am I crazy? No, that isn't a little Desert Eagle, is it? So it might have been this gun. Something probably prompted it, and I probably decided, look at this one's in the shop right now, and we've got these other 380s right now. Let me take this piece of multicam I got, lay it down, and take a quick picture. And this was definitely an Instagram picture, because this was the recipe on Instagram for a long time. Have guns at angles, and any of these angles would do, and then have some kind of ammo laying next to them. I don't know if that still works, but that was like the secret recipe. Let's see, N9. I don't know what N9 is. Oh, you're talking about Pierre? Yeah, he was saying separate politics from the Second Amendment rallies for sure. That is definitely his message, and that's super valid message. There's a reason why there was a bunch of green grass in that commons, and that's because a bunch of people didn't show up because they hate things. But guns ain't one of them. So you're either gonna understand that some of us like guns together, and we can ignore our differences, or we're gonna have to say you like guns and this and this and this, and then I'll listen to you. And you're allowed to do that. It's legal to do that, but you're going to have fewer and fewer people standing next to you when you give them all these qualifications before they can stand next to you, or before you'll stand next to them. That's really the point. And it's frustrating that, like I say, the incompetent moderator of that rally didn't realize that and succumb to a couple of people who were heckling. So we had the goals organization, or the goals happen, and that's from Gun Owners of America. There was also the NAGA Summit in July. There was the SHOT Show every year in January, and NRA show was in, I forget, August or something? No, it couldn't have been August. Was it? No, I don't remember. Texas, or it was in Dallas again, I think. So that made me think, how much money has GOA got? Because NRA's got enough money to do it. SHOT Show definitely has enough money to do it. NAGA did it on a budget, which is obvious because they're small. But where was it? Do we have GOA and all this? And I had just done the numbers not too long ago on how much the different organizations bring in based on their tax returns, which are publicly available. Every nonprofit's tax return is publicly available. So we went over and looked at that a couple of weeks or months ago and recorded it all. So it was simple enough to go grab those numbers and show that, or put kind of together here, that NAGA is bringing in, that's the National African American Gun Owners Association out of Georgia. Definitely not the other one out of Colorado that brings in something like $14 million every year or more. But then we got GOA. Oh, sorry. So NAGA only brings in $5,800, so not even $600,000. GOA brings in $7 million. Seems like a lot, but it's really not. The Second Amendment Foundation is right around there. The first, or was it the FPC is right around 5 million, or they got up to 5 million. They might have dropped a little bit. And then, of course, you have the one in Colorado that brings in $14 million. So more than twice what the GOA is bringing in. And then you get NSSF that does SHOT Show. They bring in $57 million a year. That's our industry organization. And most of that, well, not most, but a big chunk of that, millions of dollars of that is for SHOT Show, the largest industry trade show every year. One of the 5th largest trade shows in Vegas. Then you have NRA with $211 million, which is down quite a bit from their normal thing, but they run a pretty decent annual meeting, and they've been doing that since the 80s. So I don't know what that costs them, but I'm sure it's something on fixed budget of some sort. And then USCCA, don't give me room on here to put all the different, you can only put 4 pictures, but 4 options for the poll. Otherwise, I would have had 5, because USCCA often does an event that's just focused on CCW, kind of their own event for their own members, and they bring in $290 million plus, and that's on the low end. So they bring in not quite twice what the NRA is bringing in, but they could be bringing in twice the amount of money that the NRA is bringing in, and they present the smallest. I don't know if they're smaller than the NAGA show or if the NAGA show is the same size, but I thought that was an interesting way to look at the events goals, from what I understand from people that were able to attend. It was amazing.
In other words, there's a way to do this. There's just not a will to do it.
Boom. Toby's live. So we're going to go ahead and end this one. Let me know. Give me some feedback. Even if you're on X, give me some feedback if we should do an Instagram show, an Instagram X, an IGX show before Toby's show on Tuesdays. Otherwise, this will probably go back to being a workshop type of show. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, and have a great day. Or...
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.